This is Mac OS Ken.
Recapping Apple's Unleashed event. It is Tuesday, the 19th of October, 2021. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by Simplisafe, the right way to protect your home. Learn more at simplisafe.com/macOSCan. This show is also sponsored by Headspace, meditation made simple. You ever get caught in your head? Old ideas that have never been good for you? Old resentments that just, hang out, drag you down? Yeah, Headspace can help you out. I've been doing a course on anger, particularly getting past it. It's not like the stuff that upsets me has gone away, but when it pops up, it doesn't take hold the way it used to. That's what Headspace has done for me. Once you download the Headspace app and use their meditation, mindfulness, and sleep exercises, it takes just a few minutes a day to change your relationship with stress and anxiety, to start to feel better. We can't change what happens in the world, but with Headspace, you can learn to take control of your mental health and choose how you respond. Find some Headspace at headspace.com/macOSCan and get 1 month free of their entire meditation library. This is the best Headspace offer available, so go to headspace.com/macOSCan today. headspace.com/macOSCan. Apple announced a lot of new stuff at Monday's Unleashed event, some for the consumers, some for the pros, and a decent amount of peeking under the hood. Where does one begin? Well, this one starts not where Apple did, but more toward the middle. That's when Apple started talking about the next processors in the M series, the M1 Pro and the M1 Max. Memory bandwidth for the M1 Pro is said by Apple to be nearly 3 times faster than the M1. It has 32 gigabytes of unified memory shared by the CPU and GPU. 33.7 billion transistors make up its circuitry, more than 2 times as many as the M1. So far, I have only counted 1.2 million, though, in my defense, my TV is only 1080p. M1 Pro sports a 10-core CPU, 8 high-performance cores, and 2 high-efficiency. Apple says the M1 Pro hits speeds as much as 70% faster than those attained by the M1. M1 Pro also sports between a 14 and 16-core GPU, up to twice the performance of its M1 predecessor, according to the company. Sounds good, right? Well, get ready for it to sound crappy. Memory bandwidth for the M1 Max is up to 2 times that of the M1 Pro and up to 6 times that of the M1. The unit sports up to 64 gigabytes of unified memory, 57 billion transistors, the same 10-core CPU as the M1 Pro, but a 32-core GPU. That gives M1 Max up to 4 times the GPU performance of the M1. Of course, it's not just about how it compares to last year's Max. How do the new processors stand up to chips that power the PC side? It might be better to ask, how do chips that power the PC side stand up to the latest in Apple's M series, and to hear Apple tell it, they do not. According to the firm, at peak, M1 Pro and M1 Max deliver 1.7 times the CPU performance as an 8-core PC laptop in the same power envelope. Dial the new M series processors back to match the marks hit by the PC, and it does so using 70% less power. That does, of course, mean any machine it powers runs cooler and the battery lasts longer. Just because it can go all out doesn't mean it has to all the time. GPU performance versus PC counterpart sounds just as impressive. At its peak, the M1 Pro is said by Apple to be 7 times faster than integrated PC laptop graphics, Versus PC laptops with discrete GPU, M1 Pro offers a bit more performance while using 70% less power. And again, here comes the M1 Max to make that look quaint. According to the company, M1 Max offers comparable performance to the highest performing PC laptop in terms of graphics while using 100 watts less power. But here's the amazing bit. To get its best performance, that PC laptop has to be plugged in. Run it on battery and its performance drops off, while M1 Max stays right where it was, plugged in or not, blowing away that battery-powered PC. So what can we use it to power? Surprising no one, thanks spoilers, Apple introduced two new laptops on Monday, a 14-inch MacBook Pro and a 16-inch MacBook Pro. The M1 Pro powers the 14-inch machine, while the 16-inch device can be driven by either the M1 Pro or M1 Max. The 14-inch machine is 15.5 millimeters thick or thin, weighing in at 3.5 pounds. The 16-inch Mac is 16.8 millimeters thick or thin, weighing in at 4.7 pounds. The displays are bigger without being bigger. Apple shrunk the top and side borders, yielding a 16.2-inch display on the 16 and a 14.2-inch display on the 14. Graphics performance was also addressed, but I sort of feel like we covered that. The new MacBook Pros have a 1080p FaceTime camera, a studio-quality 3-mic array, and a 6-speaker sound system that supports spatial audio. I believe that is true of both sizes. They no longer have a touch bar, and they're down one USB-C port as well. Lots of other ports made their way back, though. Addressing connectivity, Apple heralds the return of the HDMI port, the SD card slot, and MagSafe. Not only does it bring its quick-releasing self back, but it brings the much-missed, at least by me, charging indicator light as well. They've also got a Thunderbolt 4 port on one side and two USB-C ports on the other. Now, the performance most people care about most is probably battery life. The 14-inch MacBook Pro offers an insane 17 hours of video playback, 7 extra hours versus the M1, according to the company. Meanwhile, the 16-inch machine offers a certifiably insane 21 hours of video playback. The 14-inch machine starts at $1,999, though fully spec'd out, you can make it cost $5,899. In fairness, though, $2,200 of that was the 8TB SSD. A 16-inch MacBook Pro powered by an M1 Pro starts at $2,499. That one you can kick up to $6,099. Interestingly, the 8TB SSD on that one costs $200 more than the SSD on the 14-inch machine. Not sure why. Finally, the 16-inch MacBook Pro powered by M1 Max starts at $3,499. You can max that one out to $6,099, same price as the maxed out 16-inch M1 Pro machine. For some reason, the 8TB SSD is back down to $2,200 on this one, which is even more confusing than jacking the price on the other 16-inch MacBook Pro. Orders did start yesterday. They ship next week, though not if you weren't at the front of the line. Mac Rumors ran a piece Monday afternoon saying that delivery dates for the machines had already slipped to November, with some already seeing delivery as late as December. Buying off the rack, i.e. without customization, gets you your machine sooner. Then again, you want what you want and you need what you need. This is not the order to rush. Of course, if you're fine with the stock builds, there is still a chance of nabbing one next week. Mac Rumors points out that Apple should have those machines in store next Tuesday, the 26th of October. New processors and new Macs were the biggest announcements in the Unleashed presentation, though they were far from the only announcements Apple made. We'll work backwards to the beginning in a moment, but first a word from Simplisafe, the right way to protect your home. They've been doing that for years, protecting your home's interior against break-ins, fire, and water damage, and now they've got their eye on the outside too. The Simplisafe wireless outdoor security camera brings the same ease of use as the rest of their gear to the outside of your home. It's got an ultra-wide 140-degree field of view, 1080p HD resolution with an 8x zoom, an easy-to-remove rechargeable battery, so you don't need an outlet. Just put it where you need it. This camera has it all, and it integrates with your Simplisafe home security system, extending its protection to the outside. Setting up my Simplisafe system was simple. Add in the outdoor camera, and that means every door, window, and room is protected. That's your whole home covered, inside and out. Safety and simplicity, that's Simplisafe. To learn more about the exciting new Simplisafe wireless outdoor security camera, visit simplisafe.com/macOSken. What's more, Simplisafe is celebrating this new camera by offering 20% off your entire new system and your first month of monitoring service free when you enroll in interactive monitoring. SIMPLI. Again, that's simplisafe.com/macOSken. Coming in third for the biggest Unleashed announcement would have to be the third generation of AirPods. Not a huge surprise here. Thanks again, spoilers. Though they are an impressive pair of noisemakers, inching up on a lot of performance formerly reserved for AirPods Pro. The new units feature adaptive EQ, support for spatial audio, dynamic head tracking, and Dolby Atmos. Near as I can figure about the only things that separate them from their Pro cousins are contours, active noise cancellation, and price. Though redesigned, the AirPods 3 are single plastic units, no silicone nib for a more snug fit. They do not offer active noise cancellation, and they do cost less. We'll get to the cost in a moment. AirPods 3 do have a force sensor for controlling various functions. They are sweat and water resistant. They offer 6 hours of listening time on a full charge, though in a pinch, 5 minutes of charging gives 1 hour of listening time. They come with a MagSafe wireless charging case, and now we can get to the price. AirPods 3 will run buyers $179. The second-gen units are still available. Their price dropped to $129 on Monday. Of course, AirPods Pro are still out there, coming in at $249, and the AirPods Max are still going over your ears for $549. Orders for AirPods 3 started on Monday. They ship next week. As of now, ordering now would see units in your ears next Tuesday, the 26th of October. Continuing our rewind of the Unleashed event, the second thing Apple had to offer was a colorful announcement around HomePod Mini. That's it. The Cupertino company has brought 3 new colors to the diminutive speaker line. Joining the established white and black models are orange, yellow, and blue. The price for the device stays $99. Orders and shipping are set for sometime next month. Apple did make an announcement about one of its services Monday, and it is puzzling. For most of today's show, I've been working from my own notes made while watching the Unleashed event. My notes for their Apple Music announcement aren't very helpful, though, since the only thing I could think to write was, I don't get it. Engadget gave it a bit more. According to the site, the company has introduced an Apple Music voice plan that offers access to the full song catalog for just $5 per month, so long as you're willing to rely solely on Apple's virtual assistant for control. It's pitched as ideal for HomePod and AirPod owners and others who are more likely to use a voice assistant than to tap their phone. Okay, I guess I do get it, I just don't get it. I like to read about the bands. I'll lose a good 10 to 20 minutes sometimes reading about a particular album or the history of a musician or group in Apple Music. For that reason, this would not be for me. Also, I read somewhere that you can't build your own playlist with the voice plan, though, sorry, I can't remember where I read that. Additionally, Engadget says this only really works if your favorite music is easy to play using voice control. The voice plan won't be ideal if you like classical or certain forms of electronic music, for example. Conversely, $5 cheaper. If you're the type to tell Apple's virtual assistant to play music and tend to be fine with the results, this might work. Quoting Engadget again, Apple is clearly betting that the music voice plan will not only reach a wider audience, but strike an appealing balance between ad-supported free offerings like Spotify and the $10 plus you'd pay per month for conventional services. The Apple Music voice plan starts in 17 countries later this fall. And finally today, showing how wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey things can be, Apple made a point of saying during the Unleashed event that it is 1 year into its 2-year transition from Intel to its own Apple Silicon. Weird to hear, considering how few Intel-based Macs are left. 9 to 5 Mac ran a piece Monday highlighting Apple's remaining Intel machines, all 3 of them. As of now, says the piece, there are 3 Macs that Apple sells that run Intel chips: the 2020 27-inch iMac, the 2019 Mac Pro, and the 2018 Mac Mini. Apart from those, all other Macs run Apple Silicon, which means the M1, M1 Pro, or M1 Max. Those are the high points of the Unleashed event. If you want to see it for yourself, it is out there to be seen. You can replay the event on Apple's events page. It's available to watch on both Apple TV and the Apple TV app. You can also play it again on Apple's YouTube channel. Well, that's what Apple hit during the event. Lots happened outside of that. Betas and software release dates, and of course, folks on the financial side had thoughts on the event as well. We will hit all of that and more on tomorrow's macOS Ken. Coming up in a few minutes, NosillaCast Podcast's Allison Sheridan and I spent a few minutes talking about the event. I'm not picking up anything new, but is she? Find out on the show in a few minutes, available where podcasts are served. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by Headspace. Meditation made simple. Get a free 1-month trial at headspace.com/macOSKen. This show is also sponsored by Simplisafe. Check out the new Simplisafe wireless outdoor security camera and get 20% off your system at simplisafe.com/macOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media, online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macosken.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.